the maximum value of sin x is 1 and the minimum value is -1. So all the values are between -1. Applying Pythagoras theorem here, I'll get a square plus b square is equal to 1. Periodic function means after such intervals, the values of the function will repeat. Positive indicates angle is measured in terms of anti-clockwise direction. Negative indicates angle measured in terms of clockwise direction. Hello everyone, a warm welcome to one and all. This is your Shruti ma'am, lecturing in Vidyashram, the Temple of Excellence, Mysore. Welcome you all to the second session of the chapter Trigonometry. In our previous session, we have studied how we will measure an angle in terms of radian as well as degree. And whenever you are converting to degree to radian or radian to measure, multiply by pi by 180 and 180 by pi based on how you are going to convert it. Now, in this session, we will be learning about the trigonometric ratios. So, we have 6 trigonometric ratios, that is sine, cos, tan, secant, cosecant and cotangent. So, whenever you have learned in your earlier classes, you have learned all these trigonometric ratios in terms of acute angle in right angle triangle. That is, suppose you have a right angle triangle, say it has A, B, C, and theta is an acute angle. Then the ratio of sine or theta is opposite side by adjacent, and this is hypotenuse. So the ratio of sine is given by opposite by hypotenuse. Similarly, cos theta you have studied as adjacent side by hypotenuse. Tan theta is opposite by adjacent. And the reciprocal of the other trigonometric ratios, that is sinus cosec theta, which is hypotenuse by opposite, and secant theta is hypotenuse by adjacent, and cotangent or cot theta is adjacent by opposite. So these are the ratios you have studied taking theta as an acute angle in a right angle triangle. From now on, you are going to study all these trigonometric ratio in terms of a unit circle. Why? Because we are studying all the trigonometric ratios and trigonometric values of angles in terms of radians. So therefore, we are studying all these trigonometric ratio in terms of unit circle. Now, as I said, what do you mean by radian? Radian is nothing but angle inside the circle or angle inside the sector of a circle where the arc length is equal to the given angle. That is, suppose you have a sector whose angle is x radian, then the arc length of this sector is also x. Like for example, we say 1 radian. 1 radian means if this is your angle of 1 radian whose radius is unit length, then the arc length is also 1. Therefore, 1 radian means it is an angle inside the circle whose arc length is equal to 1 unit, whose radius is also equal to 1 unit. Suppose you have 2 radians, then the arc length is also 2 with 1 unit of radius. So this is how we define a radius, and we will take angle in terms of radian. That's why we are studying the concept of all these trigonometric ratios inside a unit circle whose radius is equal to 1 unit. Now, consider the unit circle here whose radius is 1 unit. I have taken the point P on the unit circle whose coordinates are a comma b, that is distance from x axis as well as distance from y axis of the point. Now, I have taken or I have joined the line OP, which is nothing but the radius of the circle, that is unit circle. Therefore, its value is 1. And this distance is x coordinate and this distance is your y coordinate. So therefore, now I have taken this right angle triangle. So this is your right angle triangle. Let me take an angle x here. How I am going to write all these trigonometric ratios now? We know that sine of an angle inside the right triangle is opposite side by hypotenuse. So therefore, what is your sin x there? Opposite side of sin x is b. So b by 1, which is nothing but b. Similarly, what is cos x? That is adjacent side by hypotenuse. That is a by 1, which is equal to a. What is actually the x coordinate? So this is your x coordinate and this is your y coordinate. So therefore, I have taken P of a comma b. Now a comma b can be replaced with cos x and sin x. Why? Because we got the value of cos x as a, which is the adjacent side of right angle triangle, and sin x as b, which is the opposite side of the right angle triangle. So therefore, I can replace the coordinates of x and y with respect to cos and sin. Similarly, any point on the circle here can be replaced using the coordinates with cos x and sin x. That's why here the point P, if its coordinate in terms of x, y, can be replaced with cos x and sin x. Now, as you got here, you know how to use the Pythagoras theorem. What we got here, we got cos x as a and sin x as b. Applying Pythagoras theorem here, I'll get a square plus b square is equal to 1. What is your a? Cos square x, and b is sin square x, which is nothing but sin x whole square. So this is the standard identity of a trigonometric function, that is cos square x plus sin square x is equal to 1. Similarly, we can also write the other trigonometric identities. Suppose you divide the whole equation. You divide the whole equation by cos square x. What you will get? Cos square by cos square is 1. Sin by cos is, we know the sin by cos is always tan. So sin square x by cos square x is tan square x. And we know that 1 by cos x is secant x. So therefore 1 by cos square x is secant square x. So this is one more trigonometric identity. So using this only we can derive all other trigonometric identity. Similarly, if you divide the whole equation by sin square x, what happens? This equation, cos x by sin x is cot x. Cos square x by sin square x is cot square x. And sin square by sin square get cancelled. So this is plus 1. 1 by sin is cosecant. 1 by sin square is cosecant square x. So this is one more identity you can derive from this identity. Well, how you will get this identity? Again, inside the unit circle where the square of the two sides is equal to the hypotenuse, which is nothing but your cos square x and sin square x. Next, now this is your point P. Let me start revoluting. That is, I am terminating the angle. So this is your initial ray. Let me consider this as your initial ray. So if you make an angle, so it moves on and again it comes back to the same point. So therefore, again after one complete revolution also, the value of this point is again your cos x and sin x only. And also you can see the end points where the circle is touching the x-axis and y-axis. So I said any point on this unit circle can be represented using cos x and sin x value. So now if you take this as your ray, what is this angle? Your angle is 0. So therefore x can be replaced with cos 0 and sin 0. But here the value of cos and sin is given. So what I can write here, cos 0 is 1 and sin 0 is 0. Similarly, after certain rotation of an angle, you will get a 90 degree. So this can be written as cos 90, sin 90. In terms of radian, it is cos pi by 2 and sin pi by 2. What are the values we got? Your cos pi by 2 is 0, sin pi by 2 is 1. Now, coming back to this straight line, this is your straight angle, that is 180 degree. In terms of radian, it is nothing but pi. What is the value of pi here? I can replace with cos pi and sin pi. So your cos pi is -1 and sin pi is 0. Coming back here, this is your 270 degree, which is nothing but 3 pi by 2. So your cos value of 3 pi by 2 is 0. Sin value of 3 pi by 2 is your minus 1. Again, coming back to the same point. So after one complete rotation, I'll get the line same. That is, after complete rotation, I'll come back to the same point with respect to the origin. So again, 360 degree, that is nothing but your cos 2 pi and sin 2 pi. What is the value there? It is again 1, 0. So therefore, the value of cos 2 pi is 1, sin 2 pi is 0. What does this indicate? That means after one complete revolution, even though the angle increases inside the circle, the value will remain same. That is, after one revolution, the value of cos function and sin function repeats. Therefore, they are called as periodic functions. Periodic function means after such intervals, the values of the function will repeat. So you can see here, from cos 0 we have started one complete revolution to cos 2 pi. The value of cos 0 and cos 2 pi is same. Why? Because they reach the same point. Similarly, if you start from point P, after one complete revolution, the coordinate of point P is again a comma b only. That is cos x and sin x only. So therefore, the value of all the trigonometric function, not only cos and sin, all the trigonometric function will repeat after one complete revolution. One more thing you can observe here, you can see cos pi by 2, cos 3 by 2 value is 0. Why? Because they lie on the y-axis. On y-axis, you can see the coordinate of x value is 0. So what is the coordinate of x? That is cos x itself. That is, x coordinate we have taken in terms of cos and y coordinate we have taken in terms of sin. So if the coordinate of x axis is 0, that means your cos value is 0. Also, the angle is here pi by 2 and 3 pi by 2. After one complete revolution, again plus pi by 2 is your 360. That is your 2 pi plus 3 pi by 2 is again here 5 pi by 2. Next again this is 7 pi by 2. So it goes on 9 pi by 2, 11 pi by 2. So it goes on. That is for any odd multiples of pi by 2. So for odd we will represent it as 2n plus 1 pi by 2. The cos function is 0. Why the cos function will become 0 for odd multiples of pi by 2? Because it lies on y-axis. On y-axis, x coordinate is 0. So therefore, your cos function is 0. Next, similarly, you can see the sin 0, sin pi, sin 2 pi. Sin 0, sin pi, sin 2 pi. That is, on x-axis, y value is 0. So therefore, sin function becomes 0. That is, for any pi you can say. That is 180 degree, 360 degree, similarly 360 plus 180, like that it goes on. So for any pi, the value of sin function is 0. For here both n belongs to the set of integers. So for odd multiples of pi by 2, cos function is 0 because the value lies on y-axis. For any pi, sin function becomes 0 because the value lies on x-axis, where the y coordinate, which is nothing but your sin function, is 0. And I also said that after one complete revolution, the value of all the trigonometric function will remain same, because y, we will reach the same point. So for that point, the coordinate of x and y value will become same. So one complete revolution is nothing but 2 pi. How many revolutions we can make? 2n pi. If you put n is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we will get the required number of revolution. So in general, what I can write is cos of 2n pi plus x. Whether you increase the value, that is, if you want to increase, go in a anti-clockwise direction. If you want to decrease, you can go in a clockwise direction. So this 270 can also be taken as sine of minus 90 also. So this is nothing but your sine 90 also. But it is negative. Why negative? Because we have measured in terms of clockwise direction. So if you take this as sine 0, Angle from here to here can also be taken as 90, but here it is minus 90. So for negative angles also the value will repeat, but the sign will change. That we will study it later. But pertaining to the values, they will remain same. So therefore, for one complete revolution, 2 pi. For more complete revolution, we can write it as 2n pi. So for any revolutions, any such revolution with addition of angle or subtraction of angle, the function value will remain same. Whatever the value you will get for cos x, the same value will get after number of revolution. Similarly, I can also write sine of 2n pi plus x is equal to sin x only, because after certain number of revolution the value of sin x will remain same. Why? Because all the points lie on the circle whose x coordinate and y coordinate will remain same. Next, we now define other trigonometric function in terms of radians. We have studied how sine function and cosine function are defined inside the or on the unit circle. Now we will study with other function. I'll take cosecant x first. We know cosecant x is a reciprocal of sine function, so 1 by x. But here the value of x cannot be equal to n pi. What is the reason? The denominator cannot become 0. If it is 0, it is taken as undefined term. Why we have taken x is not equal to n pi there? Because we know that sine n pi is 0. For n pi, the function will become 0. So therefore, I have taken here the value of x cannot be equal to n pi for cosecant function. Next, for secant function, we know it is a reciprocal of cos x, but the value of x cannot be equal to 2n plus 1 pi by 2. Because the cos function will become 0 for this value, that is odd multiples of pi by 2. Since cos x is in the denominator, the value of x cannot be equal to 2n plus 1 pi by 2. Next, we take tan x. We know tan x is sin x by cos x. Again, cos x is in the denominator, x cannot become 0. So therefore, I can take x not equal to the odd multiples of pi by 2. And cot x is what? 1 by tan x, or we can take it as cos x by sin x. Here we have sin x in the denominator. So therefore the x value cannot be equal to n pi, because if you put n pi, sin n pi is 0. Sin any pi is 0. The denominator will become 0. It cannot happen. So therefore I should take x not equal to n pi. So all these functions you can take as in the functions we say when you come across the algebra of functions in the chapter relations and function, there f of x by g of x form. Here f of x is also function, g of x is also function, but g of x cannot be equal to 0, and we are going to find for what values it is not equal to 0. The same condition I have applied here. So in the denominator, if I take the value of x, I have written they'll become 0. So therefore I have to use x not equal to n pi, x not equal to 2n plus 1 pi by 2 according to the definition of cosecant, secant, tan and cot. Also, in your earlier classes, you have studied the standard values of trigonometric ratios from 0 to 90 degree. Now, the same values, but here we have taken all the degree measurement in terms of radian measure. So, these are the values here which you can buy at or learn. Now here the angle in terms of ratios I have given 0 degrees 0, 30 degrees pi by 6, 45 pi by 4, 60 degree pi by 3. We have learned how to convert it. So if you want degree to radian, just multiply with pi by 180. If you want radian to degree, multiply by 180 by pi. So vice versa. Now 90 pi by 2, 120 2 pi by 3, 135 3 pi by 4, 150 5 pi by 6, 180 pi, 270 3 pi by 2, 360 2 pi. You have learned sine 0 0, sine 30 half, sine 45 1 by root 2, sine 60 root 3 by 2, sine 90 1. Till here you have learned. This is the rest of all the things. Here the value will repeat based on the sign of trigonometric function in terms of quadrants, which you will learn later. Now, this is for cos function and tan. You can see here all the values of the angles are given. Similarly, you can see cosecant, secant, cot. Cosecant is 1 by sine. If you doesn't know the value of cosecant, you can take the value as 1 by sine. Why? Because sine 0 is 0, cosecant is 1 by sine, that is 1 by 0 is not defined. Similarly, you can see cosecant 30. If you don't know the value of cosecant 30, you can take the value as 1 by sine 30. What is the value of sine 30? 1 by 2. For cosecant, it is reciprocal, so therefore it becomes 2. Similarly, cos, if you know cos, then you can write secant also. Similarly, cot. Cot you can write either by 1 by tan or in terms of sine and cos. So if you know the values of only sine function, you can write cos, you can write tan, you can write cosecant, you can write secant. All other 5 trigonometric ratios you can write if you know at least any one of these values from 0 to 360 degree. So usually we'll take 0, 30, 45, 60, 90 and 180, 360. Learn this enough. So this can be converted in terms of sum or difference, which you will learn it later. Now here we are, sine of trigonometric function. As you know, I said sine 90 is 1. So you can see if you take this as pi by 2. So what is the value of sine pi by 2? It is 1. Sine minus pi by 2 means minus 90. What is the value? It is minus 1. Even though the angle is same, the value varies. Why? Because they lie in different quadrants or they lie in different axes. This is positive y-axis, negative y-axis, positive x-axis, negative x-axis. And positive indicates angle is measured in terms of anti-clockwise direction. Negative indicates angle measured in terms of clockwise direction. Also, make a note that cos of negative angle is cos x only, because I have said to you, suppose if you take a unit circle and let me take a right angle triangle. This value is A, this value is B and this is 1 because this is a unit circle. What is the cos value? Adjacent side by hypotenuse. That is cos of x was same 1. Suppose I take a negative of minus x. What is cos of this function? Again it is A by 1 only. A by 1 only. That is adjacent by hypotenuse. Here also it is adjacent by hypotenuse. But sign value changes. So here it is B and here it is minus B. Because the value of y here is negative. But the value of x is positive. So therefore, based on x-axis and y-axis, the value of the trigonometric function also changes. Cos of positive angle as well as negative angle, the answer is always positive cos x. And sine of negative is negative of sine x. Similarly, for secant x, secant of minus x, this is equal to secant x only. Except cos and secant, all the trigonometric values for negative angle is negative. Now, here we have taken quadrants, first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, fourth quadrant. Now, in first quadrant, all functions are positive. For an angle, all the trigonometric ratios are positive in the first quadrant. That is from 0 to pi by 2. From 0 to 90 degree, all the functions are positive. From 90 degree to 180 degree, that is from pi to pi, only sine and cosecant are positive because only the y-axis is positive and x-axis is negative. We know that y-axis we have taken in terms of a comma b as cos x and sin x. That is your x-coordinate is cos x, y-coordinate is sin x. So therefore, since your y-coordinate is positive, sin is positive and the reciprocal of it is cosecant. And x-coordinate is negative, cos is negative, so secant is negative, tan and cot is also negative because tan is nothing but sin by cos, cot is nothing but cos by sin, where cos is negative, so therefore tan and cot is also negative. Next, in the third quadrant, tan and cot are positive and the rest of the trigonometric ratios are all negative. Because why only tan and cot are positive, I'll say. In the third quadrant, your x value is also negative, y value is also negative. So x coordinate is negative means cos function is negative, y negative, sine function. If cos is negative, secant is 1 by cos, which is negative. Sine is negative, 1 by cosecant is also negative. Well, tan and cot, we know tan is sine by cos and cot is cos by sine. Sine is negative, cos is negative, so your tan is positive. Cos is negative value, sine is negative value, so your cot is positive value. Next, cos and secant. Cos is positive means because x coordinate is positive, so secant is positive and all other trigonometric functions are negative. So using the relationship between the all 6 trigonometric function, we can define which one is positive, which one is negative in the given quadrant based on x-axis and y-axis. So here I have taken sin x, first quadrant positive. Y, wherever y is positive, your sine function is positive. So first and second positive, fourth and third negative. So cos, positive x-axis in first quadrant, so positive. Second quadrant x is negative, third quadrant x is negative, fourth quadrant x is positive. So your cos function is positive. So based on sine and cos, you can take all other function. So as sine, cosecant value is same, as cos, secant value is same, as tan, cot value is also same. Here we have very important and interesting concept, that is graph of all trigonometric function. We know how to write the graph of a function in terms of coordinate axis. In chapter 2, that is relations and function, you have studied some standard functions with their graph and domain and range. Similarly, you are studying how the function sin x and other trigonometric ratios can be expressed in terms of graph, their domain and range. But to draw a graph, you should know all the standard values, at least from 0 to 90 degree. Now, we know the value of sin 0 is 0 and sin 90 is 1. Again, sin pi 0, sin minus 90 minus 1, 2 pi is 0. Because for any pi, the value of sine is always 0. And for 90 degree or minus 90 degree, the value is 1 and minimum value is minus 1. So therefore, you can draw. And the rest of, we can say sine 30 degree. You take sine 30 degree. So you can take this as pi by 2. So therefore, here it is pi by 4. And pi by 30 somewhere here. So for pi by 6. For sine 30 degree, your value is half. Okay, similarly, if you go on doing like this, this is somewhere pi by 4 value. So if you plot this, all these points, the curve you will get like this. So this is how the sin x function is. And coming to the domain. So the domain of this function is any real number, that is any angle. Now coming to the value, range. The minimum value is minus 1. The maximum value is 1. You can see, you can extend this graph for more values of negative angles also after 2 pi also. Here I have taken from minus 360 degree to plus 360 degree. You can take more, 720, 420, here also minus 720, minus 420, like that you can go on extending. But for any values, the maximum value of sin x is 1 and the minimum value is minus 1. So all the values are between minus 1. Or if you write in this in terms of intervals, you can write this as minus 1 comma plus 1. All the values of real numbers between minus 1 and plus 1. The same concept is for cos function, but the graph slightly changes because cos is 0 for odd multiples of pi by 2. Wherever you get the value with pi by 2, 3 pi by 2, 5 pi by 2, 7 pi by 2, there the cos function is 0. You can see here. So that is negative and this is positive side I have taken. Again, I have reduced the intervals from minus 2 pi to plus 2 pi. And the maximum value is for 180 degree, 0, minus 180 degree. Minimum value for negative minus 180, positive 180. That is minus 1. So again, for cos function, the domain of the function is any real angle and the range is from minus 1 to plus 1 because the maximum value it can reach is 1 and the minimum value it can reach is minus 1. This can also be written in the interval form like this. Now coming to the value of tan x. So this is the graph of tan x and it will never touch y-axis. It go on increasing. So here we have taken the value. So tan 0 is 0. Tan pi by 2 is infinite value. That is 1 by 0. Since it is an infinite value, it goes on increasing. You take only this interval now. See only this interval. And the minus 90 is also minus infinity. It is minus infinity. It is plus infinity. So I have divided the interval from minus pi by 2 plus pi by 2, pi by 2 to 3 pi by 2. Here what you can see, the value of tan degree will repeat from minus pi by 2 plus pi by 2. So it is periodic from the value minus pi by 2 plus pi by 2. So here also it is pi by 2 to 3 pi by 2. It repeats. Here also it repeats. So for these pi by 2 value, minus pi by 2 value, 3 pi by 2 value, plus 3 pi by 2. On positive side also, on negative side also, it goes on increasing. So therefore, here the domain of this function. So we have studied the function tan x in terms of unit circle. It is the ratio of sine by cos. Cos cannot take the value 2n plus 1 pi by 2. Why? Because if I take 2n plus pi by 2, the denominator becomes 0. It cannot happen. So therefore, rest of the things except 2n plus 1 pi by 2, the tan function can take any real number. And what is the value of this range? See here, it goes on increasing. Here also it goes on decreasing. I doesn't know the exact value. So therefore, the range of tan is from minus infinity to plus infinity. You can write like this, which is nothing but a real number again. Similarly, you can see the tan function. For tan function, multiples of pi is not defined. So therefore, it goes on. Here you can see for each intervals we have divided it. So therefore, cot x can take the values of all real angle except n pi. Why? Cot is cots by sine. Sine is in the denominator. Sine n pi is 0. So therefore, x not equal to n pi values, the function cot is defined for all real angle, and again minus infinity to plus infinity is your range because it goes on increasing here, it goes on decreasing here. I doesn't know the exact value. Therefore, the range of cot function is from minus infinity to plus infinity. Now here we have the secant function. It is the reciprocal of cos function. So therefore, I can take any real value except 2n plus 1 pi by 2 because this will become 0 for this value. It cannot become 0 here since it is in the denominator. So therefore, the secant function can take any real values of angles except this one. But coming to the curve here, since it is reciprocal, so cos 0 is 1 and cos pi by 2 is 0. Similarly, it is 0 here and somewhere here it is minus 1. And if you draw the cos graph, it will go like this. So since it is reciprocal, so except this values, your secant function, the curve like this. Similarly, the cosecant function, which is a reciprocal of 1 by sine, whose graph looks like this, where its domain can be any real angle except n pi because sine will become 0 and range is from cosec r minus 1, 1. Why minus 1, 1? Because you can see the graph here. So if this is your 1, so this is your minus 1. You don't have any graph in between. That means there is no values in terms of secant. Now coming to the secant function, you can say secant is nothing but your reciprocal of cos x. So your cos x graph is like this. So cos 0 is 0, cos pi by 2 is 1, cos minus pi is minus 1. So it will goes like this. So you can see the cos function graph like this. So you can see cos 0 is 1, cos 90 is 0, similarly minus 90 is 0, cos 180 is minus 1, so here it is again minus 1, so 3 pi by 2 it is 0, for minus 3 pi by 2 is 0, so 2 pi it is 1 again and here it is 1 again. So this is the curve you will get for cos. So if this is the cos curve, since secant x is reciprocal of 1 by cos x, you can see the curve like this. Coming to the domain, it cannot take the values of 2n plus 1 pi by 2. We already defined the secant function. Since it is a reciprocal of cos x will become 0 for these value. But cos x is in the denominator, so x here cannot take this value. So therefore, the domain of secant function is r except this. Similarly, the range is any real number except from minus 1 comma 1, because you can see from here plus 1 to minus 1, the graph of secant x do not fall between these range. It is after minus 1 and after plus 1. So therefore, it can take any real values except minus 1 and comma plus 1. Similarly, for cosecant is nothing but 1 by sine, and x cannot take the value of n pi, and range is from r minus 1 comma minus 1. So your find sine function, sine 0, 0, sine pi by 2 plus 1, 0, sine here. Again, if you come, sine 0 is 0, sine pi by 2 is 1, and 0, 0, 0. So the graph of your sine function goes like this. So your sine function will go like this. So since cosecant is reciprocal, so this wave will reflect like this. So this curve is like this here. This curve is like this here. Similarly here. So it is exactly the reciprocal for the sin x curve. And you can see, you can take all the values except for these values, because for these values, your curve of cosecant will reach infinite value. So therefore, except this value, you can take any real number as a domain, and the range of cosecant value can lie between any real number except from plus 1 to minus 1 or minus 1 to plus 1. Now here is a table we have defined, that is domain and range of all the function sin x, cos x. Any real number, range is from minus 1 to plus 1, maximum value 1, minimum value minus 1. And tan range is different. It can take all the real values except odd multiples of pi by 2, and range is real number. That is minus infinity to plus infinity. Your minus infinity to plus infinity is nothing but your real number, set of real number. Cot except multiples of pi, again it is real number. And secant is reciprocal of cos. So except odd multiples of pi by 2, it can take any real number, and range except the interval minus 1 comma 1. Similarly, cosecant, your reciprocal of sine function, so it cannot take multiples of pi as an angle, and your range lies between any real number except to minus 1 comma plus 1. So after watching today's session, you must focus on the values of the trigonometric function for standard angles mainly, and the graph or the domain and range of trigonometric function, which is very important when you come across calculus and also for your second PUC. So I hope you enjoyed watching today's session. We'll meet in the next session. Until then, keep watching, keep learning, and keep exploring. Thank you.